Days of Our Lives, a lemon scone, a DiMera dilemma, and a father's deadly devotion. Life in Salem has never been simple, and for one overworked mother, it's about to take a bitter turn, quite literally. Sarah is stretched thin. Between juggling a demanding medical career, keeping up with the relentless energy of a toddler, managing her relationship with Xander, and covering up layers of deception surrounding a fake will, she's operating on fumes. Her smile may remain polished in public, but privately, Sarah is exhausted and on the verge of unraveling. All she wants is a break. A breath. A moment of peace without another patient crashing, another lie threatening to explode, or another baby bottle needing washing. That's why she tries to convince Kayla to send someone else, anyone else, to that boring out-of-town medical conference. She's not interested in lectures on obscure diseases or sleeping in sterile hotel rooms. She's craving warmth, connection, and escape. She doesn't just talk Xander into staying by her side, she convinces him to quit his job entirely, trading his work suit for a more relaxed role as stay-at-home support. It sounds like a perfect getaway from their problems. But in Salem, nothing ever stays perfect for long. Their moment of peace comes crashing down, right in the middle of a sunny afternoon in the town square. The air is light, laughter drifts from nearby benches, and Sarah, finally smiling, accepts a lemon scone offered to her. She bites in without hesitation. It's soft, sweet, and just tart enough to jolt her taste buds. But within seconds, her joy turns to terror. Her face twists. Her breathing changes. A cough escapes, then another. Her hand clutches her throat. Her eyes widen. And before Xander can even register what's happening, Sarah collapses. He springs into action with all the urgency of a man who's come too close to losing the woman he loves too many times. Panic surges through his veins. Her name rips from his lips as he kneels beside her, desperately searching for a pulse, for breath, for any sign that she's still with him. This isn't just a fainting spell. Something is deeply wrong. The scone, meant to be a small, delightful indulgence, becomes the epicenter of a disaster. Chanel had offered Sarah the pastry, but she wasn't the one who baked the latest batch. That duty had fallen to Felicity, who, in an eager effort to impress, had made an adjustment to the traditional lemon scone recipe. She thought she was being innovative. She added a new ingredient, something trendy and wholesome. But what she didn't know was that Sarah has a severe allergy to it. As the paramedics arrive and rush Sarah to the hospital, Felicity is overcome with guilt. She didn't mean to hurt anyone. She certainly didn't intend for her baking to send someone into anaphylactic shock. But intentions don't change outcomes. And the sight of Sarah, pale and unresponsive on a stretcher, is enough to leave Felicity shattered. Kat and Chad step in to comfort her. They know what Salem can do to guilt, how it grows and festers like mold in the shadows. Felicity needs support now more than ever, and they promise to stand by her while the town whispers and stares. Back at the hospital, after tense hours and frantic tests, Sarah stabilizes. She's going to make a full recovery. But the scare shakes Xander to his core. In her unconscious state, he saw the worst. A future without her. A future he couldn't accept. Now that she's safe, his focus shifts. The cancelled lake trip fades into the background, and all his energy returns to the hospital mission. The plan he and others had been developing to help restore the community's faith in Salem's crumbling healthcare system. Meanwhile, another storyline heats up in a very different way. Alex is facing his own storm. Stephanie has written a scandalous novel, a piece of fiction so raw, so provocative, that she's deeply embarrassed by its content. She wanted it buried, hidden away in a drawer where no one could find it. But Alex? He sees gold. He believes it could be a bestseller. A sensational hit. And he wants Titan DiMera to be the ones to publish it. Stephanie hesitates. Her pride wars with her shame. It's one thing to pen a steamy tale in private. It's another to see your words splayed across bookstore shelves and viral TikToks. But Alex is nothing if not persuasive. His charm oozes like warm honey, and Stephanie, flustered, finds herself swaying under his smooth talk. Still, there's more at stake than just a book deal. Javi, observing from the sidelines, is unsure. Is this a smart move, or just another one of Alex's reckless gambles? Before a decision can be made, Leo enters the room, completely unaware of the tension. As always, he talks too much, rattling off a story about himself, dropping an obscure pop culture reference that only he finds funny, and mispronouncing a Yiddish idiom before feigning interest in Javi's opinion. Somehow, in the chaos, everyone ends up laughing. The tension breaks, if only for a moment. But Salem has no shortage of drama, and the true cliffhanger comes from the DiMera estate. EJ has begun to remember. Faint, fragmented flashes of the night he was shot have begun to coalesce into something clearer, and what he sees horrifies him. His own son. Standing over him. Holding a gun. EJ doesn't need anyone to tell him what happened. His instincts, honed from decades of betrayal and treachery, scream the truth. Johnny pulled the trigger. What's more shocking is EJ's reaction. Not fury. Not betrayal. But something more twisted. Understanding. Maybe even, respect. He gets it. Johnny had reasons. And in the twisted world of the DiMeras, shooting your father can be seen as both a betrayal and a rite of passage. After all, EJ himself has committed more than his share of unforgivable sins. Crimes that went unpunished. Wrongs that were never righted. In his mind, this is just history repeating itself. But there's one thing EJ won't allow, his son paying the price. He makes a vow. Johnny will never be punished. Not while he's still breathing. EJ may have been the victim, but in this family, justice is a slippery thing. And the DiMeras always protect their own, even from murder charges. Thursday, May 8, 2025, a dangerous offer, a tense reunion, and a medical emergency in Salem. Salem never has a quiet day. Just when things seem to be settling down, new tension bubbles to the surface, new alliances are tested, and new crises threaten the fragile peace that characters fight so hard to maintain. Today's episode of Days of Our Lives brings an intriguing mix of corporate ambition, fractured family ties, and a health scare that shakes the community. At the center of it all? Johnny, Xander, EJ, and a struggling Sarah. The day begins in the sleek, high-rise offices of Titan, where Johnny pays a visit to Xander. But this isn't a simple social call. There's an energy between them, tense, careful, and filled with undertones of long histories and complex family rivalries. Xander doesn't waste time with small talk. He gets to the point and asks Johnny if he's considered working for Titan again. It's not just a casual suggestion. There's strategy behind the offer. Xander is on the hunt for someone with a respectable name, someone who won't be seen as tainted by grudges or personal vendettas against the Kiriakis' legacy. In short, he needs a DiMera who isn't out to sabotage from the inside. That's where Johnny could come in. Young, smart, bold, he's the kind of fresh energy Titan could use. But is the offer genuine? Or is Xander just trying to plant a Trojan horse? Johnny cuts to the heart of it. He wants to know the truth. Is this a real job opportunity, or just a clever ruse to get closer to EJ? If it's the latter, Johnny might actually be more interested. After all, his relationship with EJ is fractured at best. The thought of playing a role that gives him some power in the corporate chessboard, especially if it unsettles his father, could be too tempting to ignore. He doesn't get a straight answer from Xander, but his curiosity is clearly piqued. This conversation might have started as business, but it could very well spark something far more explosive. Elsewhere in town, in the charming bustle of the plaza, Kat approaches Chad with a small box of pastries in her hand. They're from Sweet Bits, and more specifically, from Felicity. The box may be light, but its contents carry the sweet energy of something deeper. Kat offers the pastries with a smile, and Chad accepts them with an even bigger one. Their conversation is playful, flirtatious, and full of the kind of spark that suggests something more than friendship might be blooming between them. Chad jokes about Kat's date with EJ, telling her in a half-serious, half-sarcastic tone that the date is over, because he's saving her from his brother. With a glint in his eye, he suggests they could have a fun evening together instead. Kat, amused and clearly enjoying the attention, seems genuinely touched. For a moment, the drama of Salem fades into the background as these two share a sweet, simple moment. But the peace is short-lived. Johnny arrives on the scene just in time to be caught in the crossfire of Chad's enthusiasm. Chad tries to lighten the mood, telling Johnny that EJ is looking forward to seeing him. It's meant to be encouraging. Instead, it triggers a sharp emotional reaction. Johnny's wounds, emotional and perhaps still physical, are far from healed. He's not ready to forgive EJ for past betrayals. Not yet. And being told what to do by Chad only fuels his anger. He snaps, yelling at Chad in front of everyone. It's clear the scars between father and son are still raw. And now they're on public display. But Salem isn't done delivering shocks for the day. As the town bustles with movement, coffee cups clinking, neighbors chatting, and the sun casting golden light across the square, something far more serious is happening nearby. Sarah, who has been under immense stress lately, is walking through the plaza, seemingly just enjoying a bite to eat. But within seconds, something goes horribly wrong. She starts to cough. Her breathing becomes labored. Her body trembles. And then, she begins to choke. People around her freeze for a split second in horror, but Xander, who is never far from Sarah's side, rushes in and catches her as she collapses. His face is etched with panic, desperation, and helplessness. In that moment, the corporate chess games, the family betrayals, the flirtations, they all fade into the background. All that matters is that Sarah can't breathe. It's not clear what caused the reaction. Was it something she ate? Could it have come from Sweet Bits, the same bakery that's been the center of so many stories lately? If so, this wouldn't be the first time the beloved pastry shop found itself at the heart of a dangerous incident. As EMTs arrive and take over, Xander holds Sarah close, terrified he's about to lose her. He whispers her name over and over, as if saying it will keep her here, tethered to him and to life. And just like that, Salem is shaken once again. Johnny is pulled in two directions, by the promise of power at Titan and the deep emotional chaos with his father. Xander finds himself back in a place of fear and helplessness as the woman he loves battles for breath. Chad and Kat tiptoe on the edge of something new, their flirtation bright and distracting, but the shadow of family drama never far away. And the town? The town of Salem hums on, its streets alive with secrets, heartbreaks, and the ever-present sense that something big is always just around the corner. This is Days of Our Lives, where love, betrayal, ambition, and tragedy blend into a story that never sleeps.